This is Kardec Radio bringing you the talk, the dynamics of our sixth sense, psychic and mediumistic phenomena in the light of Spiritism, given by Divaldo P. Franco, Brazilian medium and speaker. This partial audio recording will cover Chapter 10, B, Questions and Answers. Enjoy. Do not accept violence. If somebody comes towards you with some degree of violence, do not give it fuel. Do not attune to that. Let's look at that person. Let's smile and let's say, it's okay. There's a saying in Brazil that says, when one doesn't wish, two will not fight. Traveling a lot, I sometimes face difficult situations, aggressions, people with animosity, people who try to provoke me. The best technique is to be a little naive. A friend I have had for over 20 years told me recently, Divaldo, I will confess something to you. I really do not like your face. I said, I can't do anything about it. It is the only one I have. Do not look at it anymore. He said, aren't you disturbed by what I said? Aren't you upset? I replied to him, no. I like my face. I think it is a very sympathetic face. At this age it is put up with cold, warmth, rain, sun. I am very happy. He stopped me and said, now I like your face. And I answered, see how good it was for me not to switch faces? We will never please everyone. So let's not allow other people's violence to affect us. There was a time that somebody slapped me in the face. I had a reaction with an adrenaline discharge through my body. But then I remembered that I was a spiritist and that I had more understanding than the person who started the aggression. I had a discharge of cortisol. So I took in a deep breath and I said, what is the problem? And he said, I don't like you. I then replied, you didn't have to hit me. I am going to relate to you a Buddhist saying. Buddhism teaches us that we should be like a violet. Whenever stepped on by the hoof of a horse, the violet will perfume that hoof. I hope I have transmitted perfume to your hand. I said that with such joy that he looked at me and said, would you forgive me? I said, no, because you are ill. I will recommend a psychiatrist. So you don't need forgiveness, you need therapy. I didn't feel resentment. I was very surprised with what happened. It was physical and moral aggression, and I was deeply at peace. The other item that UNESCO mentions is to be generous. Smile more. Wish a good morning with great happiness. We are always so anguished. At least in Latin America, we need to learn something about the Anglo-American behavior. Only 2 words, sorry and thank you. I see that amongst ourselves in Latin America. When we bump each other and we look at each other, instead it would be so easy to just say, sorry. If somebody concedes a seat to us, to say, thank you. The more we do this and say that, the better. I read Love and Survival, a great book that was published here in the United States by the great cardiologist Dean Ornish. The book was listed in the New York Times Book Review, and for many months it was on the bestseller list. It talks about conducting yourself with happiness. The doctor lives in New York, and he himself is an example of good humor. Once on a flight between Washington, D.C. and New York, he was in such a bad mood that at the moment he boarded the plane, one of the flight attendants said, Sir, forgive me, but you don't look very well. Would you take some advice? He replied, yes. Read the book by Dr. Dean Ornish. Then he sat down, opened the newspaper, and hid himself. So be generous. Do all the good that you can. Plant a tree, water a plant, say something nice to someone. Do not accept the bad that is done by people that are ill. Now, the last item that UNESCO says, rediscover generosity. We need to rediscover generosity.